Poor little guy, huh?
All right, we live. There we go. Hey, everybody. I know it probably ain't nobody in comments, but I'll go ahead and have it sitting there just in case.
You might have to move over a little. Oh.
Glad to see everybody. Right now, I'm down here in the Talladega National Forest. I'm not going to say the location, but some of y'all going to know it right off bat because y'all can see the background. But anyway, I wanted to come and introduce a couple of guys. They already have YouTube channels. They're down here camping out for a few days, and I wanted to give a shout out to them and let them talk a few minutes. And so glad it, if any of you come in, hey, Miss Sharon, good to see you. And I know wind is blowing. I tried to do a live last night. We just couldn't get it to do real well. I don't know what was wrong. This will be a short live because I know Old Line Cryptids is coming on at 7. And I just want to do a little short live, give a shout out to these guys and everything. And I see my wife's in chat. Okay. So, hey, babe, good to see you. She's not with me. She's not feeling well. So y'all say a little prayer. And hey, Mr. Tennessee Cherokee and Randall and Phyllis and Mark D. Good to see y'all. So I'm going to let each one introduce themselves and let one of them talk a few minutes and then the other one, and they can tell y'all a little bit about yourselves, what they're willing to tell. That's one other thing I always say. I say, if you don't want to say it, you don't tell stuff. So, but I just going. So, Mr. Paul, I'll let you have the floor a minute.
Okay. I'm Paul Frazier. I'm with Western Ohio Bigfoot Research. I got a Facebook group. You don't have to be from Ohio to be in it. And I have a YouTube channel of the same name. And just kind of look forward to checking things out here in Alabama. We're going to stay till the end of the week before we head back to Ohio. But it's been a pleasure meeting Mark and Rebecca and Martin here.
I wonder if they can hear him.
Looking forward to what?
Making sure they can hear you.
Oh.
Let me look and see. Can y'all hear him? Can y'all hear Paul?
Just in case.
Yeah, I am kind of far away.
Ain't nobody said nothing, so they may be able to hear you. But go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, we're looking forward to spend a few more nights here, see if we get any action going on. It's definitely a nice area to be in. I did have some eye shine the other night when I was down farther south in Alabama. So
you was down at Conecuh National Park.
I wasn't sure how you pronounce it.
Well, some folks say Canuck. Some people say Conecuh.
Well, I was wrong.
Most people say Conecuh because of Conecuh Sausage Company. You've probably seen this Conecuh sausage.
I thought it was Conica or something.
Well, no, it's a lot of folks. Some of you country folks say Conecuh, but it's really Conecuh, and it's an Indian word, of course. And there's a sausage company there that sells sausage all over the Southeast, and they're well known. So you hear all kind of ways that name pronounced, but. And it was amazing because that's one national forest I haven't heard much from. But I'm glad you went there because that might be a place I visit one of these days.
I got on X and Grok, that's the AI that's on X, which used to be Twitter. I got on there and I asked, where's the best place to see a Bigfoot in Alabama at this time of year? And that was the place it said was there.
And here.
Well, it said there, and then I said, where's the best place in Talladega National Forest? And it said Cheaha. The northern end of the Pinhoti is the best place at this time of year in the Talladega. And then I said, what's the best place in Clay County? And then it said
here. Okay, that's cool. That tells you, I wonder how that is figuring that.
It's based off of whatever data it can find, probably like YouTube channels or
Facebook,
any data it can find, and it just compiles all of that and what time of year and all that.
It was wild that it picked Conecuh and like that.
It said specifically Open Pond, I think is what it's called.
Open Pond,
and that's where I was at, and that's where I saw the eye shine.
Right. Okay.
I don't know.
That's where I was too.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's funny.
Well, Now this is Martin, and he has, what's the name of it again? I'm sorry.
It's all right. Camping with Sasquatch.
Camping with Sasquatch. Okay, you too.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you're from
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And you go around camping everywhere else too.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
And, so
And
you,
it's funny that he's in my group, and he saw me posting, and I'm in the Conic, or however you say it, with the same place he was at, and then I went to Talladega, and it was like we were just going the same places. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's
oh no,
funny.
that's cool though. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when we were at LBL last year with our meet and greet. We didn't know it, but there was some other groups having Bigfoot outings up there, and some of them ended up coming over visiting with us. And so now the bad thing about that, if you were hearing howls or any vocalizations at night, you don't know what you're really hearing because it could have been some of that group in different places. But now we heard some stuff. But well, I'm glad you got to try Conecuh out. That might be a place I have to look at in the future because I got some friends down that way, Flat Rock and Ken Shivers and Miss Bama BF that all live down in that area.
Well, of course, I mentioned Evergreen, the self-proclaimed capital.
Capital, yes.
Yeah, of Alabama.
Yeah.
Right. That's where close to where Flat Rock's at. He's not too far from there. So I'm not keeping up with chat, so I'm hoping my wife's watching that for me. But so we good many people in here for all of a sudden. So yeah, hey Patrick, and Robert, and Flat Rock, and Miss Lisa, and I don't know who else maybe I have not spoke to, but I just want to let these guys give a shout out a few minutes and talk about. Hey Jeff, good to see you, brother. Hey dog, good to see you, man. So yeah, Rebecca's still in there good. She's watching for me. So and everything. I don't think well, we got one moderator in there. Yeah, Mr. Mark D. Gary may probably outside still working right now. And there's old Line Cryptids, old Jerry. So y'all, they come on here shortly at 7:00, which ain't but about an hour. So y'all be sure to go over there and tune in with them here at 7:00. And hey, Ken Squatch, good to see you too, man. So, but so you seen I Shine down at Conecuh.
Yeah.
Now you got up here. I know it's been pretty quiet here.
Yeah, the very first night we got here, I think it was Sunday night. Sunday's when we got here, and it was going to rain, so we went in the tent pretty early, like before 11, I think. And I'm not sure what time it was because I had already fallen asleep, and so had the dogs. But my wife was actually, she said it woke her up, but she thought it was a wood knock. She heard something that woke her up, and she told me about it. So the next day, I got out my recorder. I had my recorder going, and I put it under our table because I knew it was going to rain. I had it in a wet bag under the table. I listened to the recording, and it sounds like it's right at the recorder, and it doesn't sound like wood. It sounded like I thought something must have hit the table. So I went over there and looked, and there was a rock laying on the ground by the table. And I picked up the rock, and she was in the tent. And I said, "Hey, is this what it sounded like?" And I tossed it, and she goes, "That's exactly what it sounded like." So
you may have had a rock.
Thrown, possibly.
Yeah.
What it looks like.
Well,
I got it on recording. I'm gonna compare. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the rock and put my recorder in the same spot and compare them, see if it sounds like the same thing.
Well, that'd be the way to do it.
Yeah.
Now, also, you may have found some tracks, right?
The one I think was a track because that was down at the creek. What's that road? Or you may not want to say, but
it ain't gonna matter. Midway Road.
Yeah, I went down to there and I saw one track in this pretty grainy, like real small gravel, sandy soil there. So there's not much detail, but it did look like toes, and it wasn't a huge track. It was like the size of my foot, and so I was looking at it, and I looked to see where the next step was, and it looked like the next step was about 4 foot distance, and then the next step was down into the creek, and the direction it was going is not the way a human would have gone because that was going right into the deep part of the creek and a real steep bank, where if you went this way just a little farther over, you'd be going through the shallow across there. So that made me think, well, maybe it's legit. So I took a cast of it, but it being in that grainy gravel, it no detail in it.
No detail.
Pretty
Well,
disappointing. It was good practice.
hey, good practice.
I didn't
And I mean,
break
you
it.
never know. I
Yeah.
mean, I may, there's a lot of vocals come from that side over there. And a lot of times when we've had outings down here and had other stuff going on, that's where some of the main vocals come from. Now, a lot of times the rest of them back over here to the northeast side. And we've heard some stuff to the west here, but most of the time it's to the south and to the northeast is where we hear most of the stuff. Now, a lot of people have camped here and had a lot of stuff happen. Rocks thrown at them, breaking limbs. Some of them's had the vocals real close, but most of the time they're a little far off. You know, it's like there's been some vocals right up on top of people here, but most of the time they're farther off. There's been people growled at. People got glimpses of something. A lot of recordings from here. People's recorded a lot of stuff. One outing we had a few years ago, we think we had one walk through camp one night about 4 a.m. visiting each people's tents.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard something come by my tent, and I seen the shadow go by. So, and then of course at the meet and greet, it's hard to say what all went on, but I mean, people were hearing all kind of stuff around their tents late at night. We heard some howls in different places. People were getting glimpses of stuff. One guy, Pat, he's on here. He had his tent unzipped during the middle of the night.
Wow.
A young child here with his mother. In fact, they were camped right there. He was riding this loop. He said a dog-looking figure stepped up out of the woods right down there. So, and then, but yet, also, a couple of our people with us, Billy and Sherry and Donna, went up toward that green patch, up toward where the guy was found dismembered. They seen something up there, and even Sherry got a picture of it or something right there at her. But also further down from them, they were looking at something with its back to them. And so, I mean, there's just all kind of stuff went on. That Sunday night, most people were gone. It was probably about 7, 8 of us left camping. Rebecca went to bed a little early because she had to work the next morning. And the rest of us were sitting by a fire, and my camper was maybe 50, 60 foot from us, maybe a little further. I don't know, something like that. And me and a couple of others seen a shadow go across my camper, a shadow. And one of the ladies was there with night vision, said she could see something standing by my truck, and then it disappeared. So when that shadow went by the camper, sister went ballistic. She was in the camper with Rebecca and went ballistic. So something was over around my camper. Of course, from the time I got up and walked over, didn't see nothing. But they heard stuff walking around their campers at night. So just a lot of stuff went on here. And there's several YouTube channels, Woodwalkers. I've talked about it. They have. I mean, you can go back and watch them videos and go through a lot of that, and you'll hear everything about what went on here that we know of, you know. So, but
yeah, I don't have a signal here, so I won't be posting anything on my YouTube till I get home.
Yeah. But that's we shall be watching out for it. And, we've got a few more in the chat. I see Ken's in there, and Mr. William Robinson, and Mr. Glenn, and I hope I ain't missed nobody else because I ain't been watching chat as much. So it's good to see all y'all and everything. And so, Martin, well, I guess I need to ask you this real quick. Then I'll come to you in a minute, Martin. So have you seen one before?
No.
You haven't seen it?
I've seen eyes. Eye shine. And I've actually seen eyes glowing with no light before, but that's it.
So you not got a good one-on-one look at one?
No.
Okay. Have you, Mark?
Not a clear.
Not a clear glances or
I have 3 instances where I saw sort of a shadow. 2 were in the dark, actually crawling next to me.
Okay.
And then one was in the woods I was sitting without my glasses, and I just was sitting there. It's blurry, and I'm thinking, that's the right proportions. And actually, I know somebody else who had a visual in the exact same area. Just got up, got my glasses, sat back down, and I don't see anything there now. I'm kind of doing this like, was there possibly a shadow? It was far enough where,
Right.
but I'm pretty sure I saw a silhouette standing a little ways away. But I really want to have a clear visual one day.
Clear vision.
Me too.
Yeah.
Just to prove
Might
it.
change your mind now when you see it.
I,
I'm just gonna go ahead
prove
and
it to myself.
yeah.
it might change your mind, so be ready, because it is a life changing event. It does cause some people anxiety and stress. It did me for a little while. Then I just finally made up my mind I wasn't gonna let it bother me. Started going back hunting and fishing. I mean, I didn't really quit, but I just made up my mind. Hey, I'm not gonna let something that's probably already been in the woods with me before many times.
Right.
I'm not gonna let it run me out. Now I'm cautious now. I'll tell you that. I don't just walk right through a real thick place without kind of paying attention. And when I'm in the woods, I got my head on a swivel. I'm paying attention to what's going on around me.
Yeah.
But and especially at nighttime, I start really paying attention at night, because they will. I've had one here to that poplar tree from me, standing behind a tree, looking at me and my buddy. We sitting there talking. He said, "You see what's behind the tree, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I done got a glimpse of something."
Wow.
And then that ambient light changed a little bit, and you could see his silhouette. And he would peep out, and you see his eyes. We started waving at him, talking to him. He stood there for 15, 20 minutes. And the only reason,
Wow.
another friend come in with a four-wheeler and had his wife on the back, and they pulled up about like here to the other side of the road from me and him, and we kept, I said, "Hey, there's a booger right behind that tree right there." He's like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" So there's a booger right there. Well, his wife didn't want to get on a four-wheeler. She wanted to lay down on a four-wheeler because I think they've been drinking a little bit or something. Anyway, he says, "Hey, there's something over there," and she don't pay him no attention. Well, they had brought their German Shepherd with them. German Shepherd's over here with me and Pat, and we want to pet. But that German Shepherd turns around, and I guess he sees him, and he lunges. He starts running, yapping toward that tree.
Wow.
And then we hear this, "Rah!" That dog starts doing that and comes back and goes up under my buddy's camper.
Wow.
And then his wife sitting on the four-wheeler jumps up, BB Bob's over there with us,
Crawling under the chair too.
So we said, "We told you there was something there," and then it disappeared. So I mean, they've been right up on top of me several times.
Wow.
In the past. So, and if they wanted me, they could have got me. It wasn't no issue with
No
that.
doubt.
So, but well, I hate it's been quiet, but I mean, you never know when you go somewhere how it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the times I've been here, something has happened. Either we hear vocals or hear tree limbs breaking, or sometimes a bionic owl, or you'll hear stuff with the coyotes. Stuff
between
like
the two of us, we'll catch it on audio at
that.
least.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I hope if y'all do catch anything, you'll share it with us later down the road, or share it on your channel. And what I'd like to do later on, I know this is probably not a good place to do it right now because it's getting close to dark. I know y'all probably won't eat supper and everything here in a minute, but later down the road, I'll try to get each one of you on my show if you don't care.
Sure.
Yeah.
One night we'll do a live and do it a little deeper dive
On a Friday night or what?
Well, we can do it during the week.
Well, I just curious what.
Well, we typically do our lives on Fridays, but with me working the 12-hour shifts now, I could possibly do some.
I can do it whenever. I'm retired.
I just don't want to jump on any time where my other friends has got something going on, so we might have to play around a little bit.
Whenever works good for you.
Yeah, and we might could do it earlier in the day or something, where it wouldn't interfere with their. Because I know O-line cryptids is usually Tuesday night, and a good friend of mine, Mr. Barton Nunley's on Wednesdays, which now he hadn't been doing nothing lately. Everybody, y'all really say a prayer for Mr. Barton and Letitia. And also Donna, her, Sherry, and Misty. Y'all really be in prayer for them. Donna lost one of her daughters Sunday, so y'all really be in prayer for them. And so that's a terrible thing to do. Lose a child. I can't imagine
no parent
that.
should ever have to bury a child.
So y'all be in prayer for them. And but yeah, I like to try to get y'all on. That way we can go through, get a little deeper. And sometimes during the week I do videos, but I don't like to do a video unless I really got something to do a video on. I hate to just go ramble, you know what I'm talking about. Because I'm bad about doing that. I'll get off on 10 different subjects, but I really want to be able to show, either be in the woods talking and let people see the scenery, or be where something was going on, or where something might be going on. And so that's one reason I haven't lately put out a lot of videos. And then some of the ones I've been putting out is where I've been interviewing people that's willing to come on YouTube. Right now I've got 4 or 5 people I need to really talk to. I don't know if they'll be willing to do YouTube or not, but I still really need to talk to them because of some of the stuff they've seen. So now, how many days you gonna stay in this neck of the woods?
I don't know. I'm looking at the weather coming up, but I'm learning more. There's more that I want to check out.
Okay.
Of course, there's Bankhead. Is it?
Oh, yeah, Bankhead. Yeah.
Northwest.
About 2 hours from here.
And then north of here, past Chia, because I stayed near right near Chia.
Yeah, use a turnip seed. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's north of the
up there in Chakalaka. Yeah, what we call Chakalaka.
So I might hang out, maybe go up in the mountains when the bad weather comes through, and I'd like to just go west after, but I don't really have a plan.
Okay.
If it's really cool, then I might stay for a little while, and when things start happening, I don't want to leave somewhere.
Right. Well, this is the time of year for this. I know for Alabama, this is the time of year for a lot of stuff to happen from about February to May.
Really?
Seems like once it starts getting kind of hot weather, things start kind of tapering off a little bit, and then it picks back up in the fall. And I'll just say this: anywhere you go in Alabama, there's a very good chance you could have something happen. Bankhead is a good place, just like this place. There's Tuskegee National Forest right outside of Auburn. It's about an hour and a half from here. There's stuff they've seen there. Some of you state parks have sightings at them. There's plenty of places to go. You could travel around Alabama just probably for a year and not hit every spot.
Where I was amazed. I just didn't know this. All the mountains over there in northwest Alabama.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, when you go to a scenic view on the highway and look out, it's like I felt like I was looking at the Blue Ridge.
Well, this is the end of the Appalachians. This is the tail end of it right here. Wow. Some people call it the foothills. But this is kind of where they end, is right here in this part of Alabama. And this ridge right here that you can't see, there's a trail on it. It goes all the way to the Appalachian Trail in Georgia. Wow. And it's a mountain range all the way up through there. It's part of the Lookout Mountain Range, what it's part of. So it's coming all the way out of Chattanooga. And when the Appalachians come in Alabama, they do like a hand. They got like 5 fingers, and they're branching out. Some of them go toward what we call Huntsville. Mm-hmm. Some are right above Huntsville on the other side of the Tennessee River. Then you have some that come down toward Birmingham and then the Bankhead. And then you have this group. It comes in over here. It comes out of Georgia. So wow. It's you're in the Appalachians. You're not in the big ones, but you're in the
definitely mountains here.
Yeah. I think that ridge right there behind us is Rebecca Mountain, and I think it's 1,700, 1,800 feet. I think what it is. But now as you go toward Cheehaw, they get a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Isn't that where the tallest point is?
Yeah, Cheehaw.
Yeah.
Then you got Horn Mountain, and you got Pinnacle. You got Hernandez, Cheehaw, Duggar. There's some more on up there. I can't remember all their names, but that's some of the bigger ones. And then there's one right there at Birmingham. It's in the top 10 too. It's called Double Oak.
Huh.
If you go on Highway 280 from here going to Birmingham, you'll go over Double Oak, and it's a big old mountain. In fact, there's a Oak Mountain State Park over there that has booger sightings in it.
Really?
And it's right there on the outskirts of Birmingham. So it's a nice campground. Let me see how long we've been on. I don't want to. We got. But anything else y'all want to say or?
No, I just hope to have some experiences. It's all good if we don't. I just spent about a week. I did one day camping in the place he was at down south there.
Right.
And then up here, and that's how it goes sometimes. I really didn't hear much. It's all good, but I'm glad to be here in a place where meeting a local, yourself,
right,
and just learning a little bit about where I'm at from someone who kind of knows it. So I was kind of going blind, which is fine. So I do a lot of that, but it's really helpful to meet a local that knows some things and heard some things.
Right.
He might go down to that creek tonight and hang out.
Yeah,
that'd probably be a good place.
That's what I told him. Yeah.
A lot of vocals from down that area. There's several people that's walked down there and said they got glimpses of stuff that were kind of big looking, that moved real quick.
It seems like a perfect layout, the way it's like a bowl,
yeah,
waterways, and then there's sort of goes right up and then back down to another valley over there,
right,
or canyon or whatever you call it. Seems kind of an ideal place for game and all that stuff,
yeah,
with the water.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the tail end of the national forest. I mean, when you came in, you probably seen some of the border of it, and once you get right here close to the game warden equipment shed, both sides of the road is in the national forest, but it stops over yonder a couple of miles. So you're at the very southern end of the national forest, and right over the mountain on the other side. I mean, there's roads that'll carry you all the way to North Alabama, and you'll cross a few paved roads here and there, and you might have to get on a paved road for a mile, then you can get back on a dirt road, and you can stay in the national forest all the way to what we call Piedmont, Alabama, which is 70 miles from here. So, and there's some roads in there you can turn off and just go right on over into Georgia. And then when you get up Piedmont, a little bit north of there, you get into what they call where the Little River Canyon at. It's one of the biggest canyons east of the Mississippi River.
Really?
I mean, it's deep. I mean, when you pull up, you think you're at the Grand Canyon, except it's got trees.
Wow.
I mean, that's how deep this canyon is, and it's about, I forgot it, maybe 20 miles long.
Whoa.
And beautiful place. Has been booger seen there. It's right there on the Georgia, Alabama, and then right across the line from there, what they call Cloud Land, is another big canyon that's in Georgia. They say it's boogers there, and that's getting up toward where Chickamauga Battleground, all that, getting kind of more toward Chattanooga up in there. So
I was wanting to go. There's a road called Wild Man Bottoms Road, and it's about 2 hours from here.
Where's that? Wild Man Bottoms.
It's south and east a little bit.
Okay.
Of here. Linda Eastburn.
Yeah, I've seen some of her
She
stuff.
has a video. If you look in her videos, that's what it's called, Wild Man Bottom Road, where she interviews a guy from that area. I was just gonna go there just so I could stand by the sign and get a picture, because that.
Well, there's down here in places too. We have Booger Hill, we have Booger Road,
Yeah, Booger Hollow.
Booger Holler.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was back down in Tallapoosa County where Booger Holler is. My wife Rebecca, she's from over around what they call Cedartown, and there's a Booger Hill, I think, over there. I think it's Hill. She'd probably correct me here in just a minute.
Is that where you found your thrills? On Booger Hill?
But Well, she's two people really knew about that place. One of them passed away here a few weeks ago, Mr. Jeff Townsend, because he was going to talk to us a little more about that because he'd been in there a lot. And then I think Jessica Jones, who has y'all probably seen Jessica before.
Yeah.
She knows a little bit about it because she's from over there. Okay, it must have been your other dog.
You hear something?
Yeah, there he is. Okay, I seen something black move, and I went to looking. I said,
Yeah.
"Now we fixing to get something popped up." But that's
He's running all over.
I'm not shocked, but I haven't. Alabama's not a place that you hear about a lot like you do Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm not surprised as I'm in Alabama and learning about it to hear that. I mean, from listening to you now, there's stuff all over.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and there's a ton of people that can back me up on that. There's Coombo Baker,
Yeah.
Greg
went to
House.
Bankhead, right?
Well, he
him
lives.
talking.
Yeah, Coombo lives up around what they call Florence, Alabama, up in that neck, which is the northwest area of Alabama. He's been down in here. He's been Bankhead a lot. Coombo's been over everywhere. Greg House lives up that way. There's some more guys up that way, and then down in here is me and Keith Tyler, which was my research partner, but he doesn't do much research right now. There's a few more down in here, and then you get on down South Alabama, you have Flat Rock and Miss Bama BF, and down toward Columbus, Georgia, you got Mr. Dale Boswell. So all these people, we've kind of got Alabama covered, except for maybe extreme West Alabama, over toward the Mississippi line. I don't know if there's anybody over that neck of the woods or not. But you got the Tom Bigby River coming out through there that's got tons of reports on it. So
I was telling him, Ohio, like on the BFRO, I think it's fourth in reports, but I think it's mostly because there's more of a population in Ohio than here. And I think Ohio had the Bigfoot conference back, I think it was like one of the first ones, and it was really a big one for years. It was like the biggest one. And so it's like more accepted in Ohio to talk about it.
Right.
And it may not be as accepted here to talk about it.
Well, you Southern people are a little on the quiet side about some things. They don't want to come out and really talk about all it, but I think they're starting to. I get a lot of emails, a lot of messages about what they're seeing. People are getting a little more open about it. I think Alabama and Georgia, Mississippi, and some of the other southern states are right up there with Ohio and some of these others. It just hadn't got the notoriety.
They're just not putting it on the BFRO.
Right. Well, and the BFRO has a criteria what they put on.
Yeah.
If it's got a little strangeness to it, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And when you look at I'm not knocking their site by no means. That's their site. They can do what they want to do. But they're not even hitting the sightings in Alabama that's here. That the late Mike Mullane was looking at, the late Tal Banco or Billy White, what Coombo knows, what Greg knows, what I know, what Flat Rock knows. I guess what we need to do is all get together one day and write down each sighting and compile it, but it'd be hard to do, but we could do it. And then all the other people that have, because there's other people that's not as well known. They don't have YouTube channels. They go out and just keep, do a lot of stuff to themselves, and they kind of keep quiet. So, so it's here, and this, especially I know this side, and then the Bankhead west up through there, and South Alabama. I know, just by talking to people. And a lot of people don't want to report it. They want to talk. They want to come sit here and talk with me and you about it.
Yeah. But don't put me on the camera.
Well, they don't want camera. They don't want it wrote down.
Yeah.
They just want to. They want to have somebody to talk to about.
It helps so much.
Yeah. Helps
deal with it.
Yeah. So
Understand it.
Yeah.
The other thing with Ohio, Salt Fork, a lot of people have heard of that.
Yeah.
It's the biggest state Park in Ohio.
It's a beautiful place. I've been to it.
And
It's
Monster Quest, did a show there.
beautiful. Right.
And so that really made it popular. And they call it the Grassman. Well, nobody in Ohio calls it the Grassman. Everybody calls it Bigfoot. Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, I think that had a lot to do with making it more acceptable. Like in Salt Fork, they're building a new nature center for the kids, and they're going to have Bigfoot as a character to talk about all the animals.
That's
So,
cool. Yeah,
so
I've
they're
been
very
seeing.
accepting of it.
I seen where who was it? They even have a documentary on it. The Ohio
on the DNR.
fisheries DNR. Yeah, they
The
got a
Ohio
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
DNR, Ohio
Yeah.
DNR on their YouTube channel. They have
Yeah.
a whole series about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And the guy at Salt Fork, his name's John Hickenbottom. And he's been on a lot of interviews on different shows and stuff. He's got a Bigfoot tattooed on his arm.
Okay.
He won't come right out and admit that he believes it, but
Yeah.
he does.
Well, me and my boy went there at one time. We went over and just rode around, walked around, and I can see where the place would have stuff. But now some people have told me they're not always in there. They're on the outskirts of it. It's there's some people that live in that area that I've talked to a little bit. And of course, the Hocking Hills were very impressive. That's a very impressive.
Beautiful down there,
It
too.
reminds me a lot of this in here, except take the pine trees out. Because it has hemlocks in there. Or down here we got the long leaf and
Is that loblolly pine?
no, these are long leaf here.
A long leaf?
Now there's some loblollies in here mixed in. Now if you go right back out yonder where that clear cut is, where the young pine, that's loblollies.
Okay.
But these in here are the long leaf. They'll have pine cones in here that big around when they start really dropping. And I mean they big. Some of them almost look like a little football stand. A lot of people love to get them and make Christmas decorations out of them, wreaths and stuff. And,
Good for starting a fire.
Yeah. But that's the better wood. That's the better pine tree for building wood because it has a better rosin to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better to, so back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they really wiped a lot of them out. They were setting up sawmills all through the woods. There's even building little small train tracks into the woods where they could haul the logs out. And I've seen pictures of pine trees I hate to say it, big around the back end of my truck. I mean, that's how big they were.
Wow.
I mean, big pines. And every now and then you will run across a stump of one because a lot of them don't rot out because they're heart pine. And heart pine is where the rosin's still in. It's good. A lot of people call it fat wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So down here we just call it heart pine. A lot of people call it fat wood. There's different names for it, but you'll come across their stumps in the woods, and they'll still be huge. I mean, you can tell that was a big old tree at one time. And these here, they're pretty good, but I've seen ones a lot bigger than them. I mean,
I was showing him a picture. There's two sycamores where I go. It's an old, they built a dam there. It's a couple hundred acres of woods. And I found two sycamores, and I took my tape measure out. The one is 21 foot around it.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Y'all got some big, what's them other trees up there? What did I see? Every now and then it pops up in my Facebook
Well, the
feed.
guy who does the Bigfoot conference now, his name is Mark DeWord. He also has a Facebook channel or whatever page that's Big Trees of Ohio, where people will send in pictures.
Okay.
There's some big ones. So.
Okay. That's cool. Well, I think the biggest popular in Alabama is over at Bankhead, and you have to walk in there about 2 miles to it on a trail. At one time, some of the biggest maple, what they call a sugar maple, and a big oak used to be up here at Chillersburg about 15 miles from here. They're supposed to be the biggest ones east of the Mississippi, but both of them fell. They got rotten, and the storm come through and put them on the ground.
That's a shame.
But they were big old trees. In fact, I got a picture somewhere with Rebecca and Ella standing inside the tree, and they're still. Or Rebecca may have that picture, or she may have lost it off Facebook. I don't know when that first account she had got messed up, but both of them are in the tree, and they still a ton of tree left. And I mean, you can, that's when you can really say, man, that was a big tree. And then both of them fell. Storm took them out. Plus, they was getting rotten. They was old. So I think they estimated they was over 200 years old.
I'm telling him, I was surprised. I had a tree fall at my house, and it was only about this big around, and I counted 70 rings in a tree that big.
Right. They were real dense, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times they say when they're real dense, they hadn't been getting enough rain to make them go. And sometimes the rings on the hill, that's fine. Yeah. So, If you get down in these bottoms and cut a tree, a lot of times in between the ring, that'd be like a half inch. So that tree really growed a lot that year. It may have been getting enough rain, nutrients, and then drought years, they'll get real tight, stuff like that. So, but anything y'all like to add before we get off here? Because I know it's getting close for old Lion Cryptids to come on here in about 30 minutes. And anything y'all like to say or anything else?
No, nice meeting you.
Yeah.
It's good to meet y'all.
Yeah.
Well, y'all give your name out of your channel one more time for everybody, because in case some of them come in late or something. And
I'm Paul Frazier, and it's Western Ohio Bigfoot Research. It's on Facebook, and then I also have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I'm Martin from my channel's Camping with Sasquatch.
All right. Okay. Well, y'all got that. Y'all go check these guys out and give them a subscription and keep following with them. And I'm glad to meet both of y'all. Now I got another contact in Florida, and I got another contact in Ohio now.
I can hook you up at Salt Fork. I know it well.
Yeah. So, in fact, I'm hoping to go see my kids here next month, if the good Lord willing. And so I always, when I get up there, I go do some riding when I get in Ohio. And I'm a little familiar with your area. I've been over there for training. And a couple of our people in here, Miss Bobby, I don't know if she's in here. She may be at work. She's from that area of Ohio. She lives, I think her people a little west of Dayton, toward the Indiana line in there. And
there's been a lot of signs out in that area.
And then Miss Blue Eyed, if she's in here, she may not be. She's from Cincinnati. That's where she's from. And Debbie, I don't know if Debbie's in here. She's from Ohio. Catherine McSwain. There's several more that come in and out just from up in that neck of the woods. So it's always good to be able to interact with them, because I kind of know where they're talking about something, or sort of, I know where they're talking about. Where if somebody tells me something in Texas, I'm going, I don't know what you're talking about, But, and you being in Florida, that, I got a good buddy down there, Pat Rance.
Okay.
That's right outside the Ocala National Forest.
Yeah. I was just in Ocala like 2 weeks ago for one night.
He gets all over.
He's his big area is the Green Swamp.
Yeah.
Him and some other guys, they do that. And Miss CD, there's a few others that's from down in there, so that's on the chat. And
they just had a camp out there last weekend, the Mid-Florida group.
Oh, did they? Okay.
In Colts Creek State Park. It's kind of the south part of Green Swamp.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where my buddy Pat seen his first booger, was at the Green Swamp.
Really?
And that's what got him hooked into it. And now he comes up here. He comes to Creepy Mountain all the time. He's a member of the club, and he comes here to Hollins. And this is his vacation away from Florida.
Okay. Cool down a little bit.
Cool down. And now he won't come in the middle of the winter no more. He come here one time, and it was went down to 8 degrees, and he said, I ain't doing that no more. So
yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, fellas, and appreciate y'all being willing to get on for a minute and give a shout out to y'all's channel. And when I get down in y'all's neck of the woods, or I'll sure holler at you, and see if we can meet up or something, or if nothing else, meet up for lunch or something.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get back down here.
Yeah. We'll be doing probably some small stuff. I'm not sure. But if you ever just want to come camping, just come on.
Yeah.
And maybe next time to be where I could carry y'all up on Creepy Mountain for a little while and show you around up there. And not sure. I got to find out exactly when turkey season come in. I've seen people today with camouflage on, and
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they went on a special hunt or something.
Or they might have just been setting up some stuff. I don't know.
Could have been out scouting. I
Yeah.
don't know. You know, may have been out scouting, listening for turkeys.
That's there at Salt Fork. Salt Fork is a huge, huge park, but outside of the park, you go just past the entrance to the gravel road, and that's where they have the group camp where they really support Bigfoot people, and it's only $10 a night to camp there, and they have they call it a feed plot trail, so they set up feed plots for turkey and deer and everything, and you can go right off of the camp right back in there. So,
one more tell you, some of the biggest squirrels I ever seen is at Salt Fork. I said, Lord, them suckers big as rabbits up here.
big deer over there.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, they come run across the road, and I told my boy, I said, they ain't nothing like them gray squirrels in Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, these things look like rabbits going
They
across.
eat good.
I said,
Florida too. They got these. It's a different name. They're
fox squirrels.
Fox squirrels.
Yeah, we got a few here, but it seemed like in Ohio, that's what I seen everywhere, and they were different colors. A lot of them were red, but I said, man, take a couple of them, you have a good meal. Down here, you have to harvest 3 or 4 to have a good meal, you know. But I said, man, up there, you could hit 2 and you'd have a pretty good meal. So,
Bald eagle are like thriving up there too.
they're starting to thrive back
I
here
can
in
show you
Alabama.
like 5 nests within about 15 miles of my house.
Yeah, they're starting to get back here. The deer population has really went up in the last 40 years. I think we're number 2 or number 3 on whitetail in the U.S. on population.
Wow.
And they don't knock a deer in it in hunting season either. I think last year there was over 1 million something deer in Alabama, they estimate. Mississippi's right next to us, and then Texas, I think, is number 1. But we don't harvest near. We don't even get close to it. I think harvest is 300,000 or 400,000 deer. So, and I mean, you can come to my house and tell. Every year I'll have 20, 30 does on my cameras all the time. You know, it's just, you know, they just raise good here. So
that's got to be good for Sasquatch too.
Well,
Nice
there's some theories about that we've talked about. Is the Sasquatch, booger, dogman, all of them, their population growing because of the wildlife being abundant as it is now? Because for years there wasn't no deer in Alabama, they wiped them out.
Wow.
And then Alabama started stocking them back in the 60s, 50s and 60s. And then about 80s, the deer population exploded. And that's about the time you start hearing a lot of booger reports. I mean, it seems like it all went together. And you think about it, if the food supply is better, getting pregnant probably better too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, so they're getting what they need to get, you know, so you know, so that populate, and that's the way it goes. If the rabbit population is low, you'll notice that the coyotes population, the other predators are low. When the rabbits build up, you start seeing a lot of rabbits. The next thing you know, the coyotes, coons, and all their populations will come up. So it's kind of like a cycle.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess it's because they got the food they need, and you know, so. Well, we'll get off here, and because I know it's 6:30, and I don't want to. There's a guy from Florida on here. Hey, Moggs, good to see you, man. Hey, Blackie. Hey, Billy, good to see you, man. So, but we're gonna get off here, and y'all remember Donna, Misty, and Sherry and their family right now. I know there's a ton of other people I need to mention. Y'all know who they are. Be praying for them. Pray for these guys to have a good, safe trip here in Alabama and enjoy it. If nothing don't happen, me and Rebecca see y'all Friday night, if the good Lord willing. I'm gonna sit down here a little while with these guys for a little while, see if anything takes place, and if it does, we'll be waiting on one of them to come when they have a show or a video or whatever. We'll listen to them talk about it. So, anyway, I'm gonna get off here, and love y'all, and y'all have a good rest of the week, and take care of each other. Remember, be kind to one another and get along. And y'all have a good week. We love y'all. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us.
All right, glad to have you. Glad to have you. Yeah, if I can shut this thing off.
You have to do it twice, right?
Huh? Yeah, you have to do it twice. And everybody's still listening to this. That Mark don't know how to do nothing. See y'all.